What's up, guys? This is EJ Holland with the Wolverine.com, and we are back with another Michigan recruiting report. It is the bye week, and Michigan staff is taking advantage by getting on the recruiting trail and seeing top commits and targets. Before we talk about that, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel for free, get notifications every time we drop new videos. And as always, subscribe to the Wolverine.com. If you can't get enough Michigan recruiting information here on the channel, make sure to head over to the Wolverine.com and use our special promo code UM1. That's $1 for 2 months over at the Wolverine.com. Get everything Michigan recruiting, the team, transfer portal, basketball, and so much more. Plus, you can join a message board community with thousands and thousands of users. All right, guys. So like I said, Michigan's coaching staff is getting out on the road this week. We're going to be breaking down 5 key recruits Michigan will see during the bye week. And let's go ahead and start it off with the big fish this cycle. And that is Savion Hyder, the #1 running back in the country, 5-star prospect out of the great state of Virginia. He is the #9 overall recruit in the country. And the interesting thing here is, okay, so Michigan already had a bye week, right? So Tony Alford went out and saw Jonathan Brown in Ohio, Michigan's other running back commit. So he saved this trip to see Savion later in the season. Unfortunately, Savion suffered a minor injury 2 weeks ago, rolled an ankle. And so he missed last week. And I'm not sure if he's going to play this week. His team, Louisa County, they've already clinched a league title and a playoff berth, so no real reason to play Savion, especially you want to keep him healthy and fresh for playoffs. So I'm not sure if Alfred will actually get to see him play, which is unfortunate because Hyder's been putting up some video game numbers. But I'm told that Alfred will still go out to visit him. It's always great to get in front of Savion, make sure he's happy and everything, which he is. No reason to have any type of concern with Savion. When I saw him a few weeks ago, he told me he's completely locked in. He really enjoyed his visit for the game against Wisconsin. He'll be back on campus for the game against Ohio State later this month. He's set to enroll early. And what else is there to say about Savion? He checks all the boxes as a 5-star, elite power, speed, vision, burst, you name it. Savion can do it. So he'll be a welcomed addition to the running back room next year, or this year as he gets on campus. So yeah, I think that right now everything's still good to go with Savion Hyder, but did want to mention the staff will be out to see him. Michigan head coach Sharon Moore will be staying local, and he'll actually see a top 2027 target, and that is Dakota Warant out at Harper Woods, who we've talked about a ton. Again, one of Michigan's top overall targets in the 2027 recruiting class. And when you look at wide receiver, Michigan needs help at the position. You have to get Bryce Underwood some weapons. You have to invest in your investment. And 2027 will be extremely critical for Michigan wide receiver recruiting. They're in it for 4 of the top guys in the country: Montreux Sales, Dakota Warant, Quentin Burrell, Matthew Gregory. Dakota Warant obviously being the in-state kid. I mean, they have to keep him at home. I think Sharon Moore going out to see him shows how much of a priority he is for Michigan next cycle. He might not have the ranking power of a guy like Bryce Underwood, but he is arguably the best recruit in the state of Michigan in a loaded year. And again, Michigan has to do everything they can to keep him home. Ohio State and Oregon are both high on his list, but he's visited Michigan more than any other school. He was on campus last month. He didn't make it this past weekend. He was trying to, but he will be on campus for the game against Ohio State later this month. I think Michigan needs to continue to show that they are improving the offense and making it a little bit more balanced. I think that Bryce Underwood being at Michigan certainly helps. Dakota knows him through the Sound Mind, Sound Body program. Dakota also has ties to Michigan. His cousin's Jacob Oden. He plays for Jacob's father, Rod, at Harper Woods. Rod is a Michigan grad. So I think Michigan has a lot going for it in this recruitment. They just have to continue to show that the offense is opening up and that they have a big need at wide receiver that can help Bryce continue to excel. All right. Dakota won't be the only recruit Michigan is seeing at Harper Woods. Moore will also get an opportunity to get a very early look at 2028 wide receiver DeAndre Bidden. And it's, never too early for 2028. Donald Tabron and DeAndre Bidden are two of the most important targets for Michigan in 2028. And actually, Michigan didn't even wait until the bye week to see Donald Tabron. They actually saw him last week before the game against Purdue. This week, they get to see DeAndre Bidden, who's the number 4 wide receiver and number 10 overall recruit in the country in 2028. So Harper Woods stacked there with Dakota Warrant and DeAndre Bidden. Bidden's visited Michigan more than any other school as well. He's been on campus earlier this fall. I expect him to be back for the game against Ohio State. So Michigan trending in a positive direction here early on. Like Dakota, he'll have some national programs after him, but Michigan is checking all the boxes early on here, and it'll be great for Moore to get a chance to see him in person. Let's go ahead and flip over to the defensive side of the ball and talk about Julian Walker, top 100 edge commit out of South Carolina. One of the biggest storylines remaining this cycle is, can Michigan keep Julian Walker? South Carolina has continued to push really hard in this recruitment. They've gotten him on campus on multiple occasions. He just took an official visit a couple of weeks ago. He's a South Carolina kid. He lives in Columbia. I think that there's some pressure for him to stay home and play for the Gamecocks. His family is originally from the Midwest. I think that does help a bit. One thing to note here is he hasn't been to Michigan since the summer when he made his official visit. Remember, he made his OV to Michigan, surprised everybody by picking the Wolverines over South Carolina. And we knew at that point it was going to be a battle until the finish line. We knew South Carolina was going to remain a factor in this recruitment. The good news is he is set to be back at Michigan for the game against Ohio State later this month. I think Lou Esposito making the trip out to South Carolina, getting some FaceTime in with Walker and his family, that will certainly help. I think, again, South Carolina is the biggest threat here. You've had other schools like North Carolina, NC State, Nebraska. They've all shown interest in Walker, but the team I'm keeping an eye on is South Carolina. The visit this month will be absolutely critical in this recruitment. We'll see how it goes. It'll be his mother's first time on campus. I think there's reason to be optimistic that Walker stays in this class, but the South Carolina threat will be there until signing day. So I won't be fully confident until he puts pen to paper. Walker won't be the only defensive recruit Michigan is seeing. Lamar Morgan, who has established himself as a flip artist, obviously in past cycles, flipping guys like Shamari Earls and Jordan Young, and even this cycle, Jordan Deck. He will be out seeing Florida State commit Jay Timmons out in Pennsylvania. So Timmons is a Florida State legacy, but there's obviously a lot going on around the Florida State program with head coach Mike Norvell and his future. So he's keeping his options open. He just made an official visit to Ohio State over the weekend, and Ohio State is pushing for a flip, and it seems like the Buckeyes are trending in the right direction there. But if Michigan gets involved and makes a harder push and the visit with Morgan goes well, he could, slow things down a bit with Ohio State and give Michigan a real shot. Again, Michigan has that big visit weekend coming up for the game against Ohio State, and that would give Timmons an opportunity to check out the program. So we're keeping a close eye this week on how things progress with Timmons, what comes of Lamar Morgan's visit to see him. You see Rivals ranks him super high, the number 2 cornerback and number 29 overall prospect in the country. So he's one of the top remaining flip targets. Obviously, Michigan's all in on Haven Finney. They won't see Finney this week. Remember, they visited him when Michigan played in Los Angeles against USC. So the focus seems to be more on Timmons this week. Michigan staff will be out seeing some other recruits as well. So for the latest on that, make sure to head over to thewolverine.com. Again, use that promo code UM1. That's $1 for 2 months over at thewolverine.com. And as always, like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel for free. Get notifications every time we drop new videos, and we'll see you guys next week.